Heidi-ho neighbors, Rado Goji here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. And when we last left off, we entered the city of Ul'dah, which apparently I'm in like an instanced version of it because there aren't like 50 million different people standing around. So I guess I just gotta go ahead and talk to Wyman here. I'm just gonna skip through all these the detailed tutorial things here because I know what to do. But if anything, I should probably give some of the backstory once I'm done here. To explain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. Yeah, fuck you, I know where I'm going. If I let you go wandering down the nearest dark alley, you're certain to get mugged or worse, and I don't want that in my conscience. So before you do anything else, you'll want to head over to the Quicksand and speak with Momodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Yes, I know where the Adventurers Guild... Well, okay, Floopel might not know. But he's been to Ul'dah before, as we established, so I don't know, who knows. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventure, adventurer. Okay, so that's our quest. You've begun a quest. I know what the quest is. Okay. So, as you can see, we've gotten some new thing up here. This wasn't there when I first started playing the game, but I know what this... Basically, this is going to point us in the direction of our next story quest. And we also have Way of the Thaumaturge here, which is going to be pointing us toward our first class quest. Because the classes all have their own storylines and whatnot. So before we speak with Momodi, I guess I just want to give a little bit of backstory as to some of the lore here. I noticed basically some cursory knowledge about 1.0's storyline. It basically involves like the Warrior of Light teaming up with some dudes called some dudes and dudettes rather called the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and they're trying to stop the evil Empire of Garlemald from trying to take over the world. And Garlemald is basically they basically set up a big old siege and huge offensive on Eorzea, which is the continent that we're on, and the three allied city-states that are there: Ul'dah, Limsa, and Gridania. However, that was basically just kind of a ruse because one of Garlemald's top scientists or generals or whatever had a plan to basically get rid of all of the primals, we'll talk about primals later, by bringing down this huge that's no moon, that's a space station kind of thing called Dalamud, which was in actuality a kind of a technological sphere thingamajig, like a jail cell for a big icon primal called Bahamut, that was built by an ancient technologically advanced civilization. Basically, they smash it down into the continent, but not before the leader of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn makes a primal of his own to basically counter that. And everyone was saved, although there's destruction all around, and it's been 5 years since that, and I hope I got all that okay. I mean, I'm fairly sure that there's going to be some other folks that will explain what went on, but I just kind of wanted to give like a cursory pass over there, just to give a little bit more context as to what might be going on. Now, basically, this is telling me that if the person has a green icon over their head, that means it's the end of the quest there. I want to see what these 20 messages I have. Sup? I'm Floopel. Why, hello there. Who might you be? I'm Floopel. If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment if it please you. She's sassy. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And luckily for you, that is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Amalja, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on, forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. No one can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all there's worry. Worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, it's scarce been 5 years since the lesser moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an 8th hell. There's 7 hells, by the way. So much was lost in a blink of an eye, 'twas like the end of the world had come at last. It's almost like Rado Goji didn't even have to explain the plot of 1.0. But then things begin to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next, some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is they don't. Nobody does. I think this is just kind of glossing over the fact that there were so many players, and that basically, you know, your player is the protagonist. And even if you transfer your character, because you could import your character in from 1.0, like, no one will remember that you were the hero. There is one thing the survivors agree upon, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid their lives down for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollections of these new heroes are just as jumbled as the calamity itself. Those are the player characters. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten, and so we call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourselves to our fair city. All I ask is that you lend a helping hand, and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, a promise is a promise now. I'm counting on your help to put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand, too. Any road, let's make this official. They say any road instead of anyway. Go ahead and write your name in the ledger, neat as you can. Register, neat as you can. Floopal O'Houlihan. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. Alright, Mr. O'Houlihan. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness. I swear to you, I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. I'm not evil. Be grateful you are given a 4th chance to offend. You two, attend to this scum. No, please, mercy! Well, ain't that a sorry sight, nor an uncommon one if I'm honest. Don't worry, though, if you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. And just don't go bother me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing all the gentlemen's woes of the with the womenfolk from time to time. Any road, welcome to Ul'dah, Floopal! Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you a little bit about our fair city. Okay, am I out of the tutorial now? I got some experience and some money. Okay, yes. So, I got main scenario quests now. They're marked by the little kind of flaming icon there. And then, like, the regular ones just have... They'll just have, like, the, that little word bubble with the exclamation point. The ones with the pluses mean that they'll start, like, a new major storyline or introduce some sort of major feature. Like, getting your chocobo and stuff will have that kind of stuff on there, too. So I guess we're still not out of the, hold on. Let me walk around here, see if I'm still out of the, if they're still... No, I can't even leave. Okay, I can check out any time I like, but I can never leave until I do this. Before you go charging off to find your fortune or your free company, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetheryte Plaza. To get there, head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue, then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetheryte. If it weren't for Aetherites, traveling around Eorzea would be a damn sight more troublesome than it is. Of course, you'll still need to attune with them before you can use them. Be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned to an Aetherite before, Floople? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you're done with that, I want you to pay a visit to the Thaumaturgist Guild, over near Arzaneth Ossuary. Assuming that scepter ain't just for show, you might want to consider training there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over on the steps of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea turn up there, Eorzea and beyond, rather, turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say everything's for sale in here in Ul'dah as long as you've got the gil. Just make sure you don't pay more than you thought, Floople. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's read it. In short then, visit the Aetherite Plaza, the Thaumaturgist Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there are more than a few unsavory characters out there who will try to take advantage of you, there are also some honest-to-goodness problems who you should also consider offering a helping hand to. And I'll consider it if I need experience. A lot of folk are lured to the city by the promise of wealth. A lot of folk are lured to the city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after gil the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you can get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should probably speak with the smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventures. This wasn't there when I started the game. Otherwise, that's about it for me. It's past time you got going. Oh, and let me know when you finish, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a guild to your name. Hi. So yeah, the smiths she was talking about are basically like super beginner helper people. They also have something to do with the mentor system. I'm not going to mess with that because I know what I'm doing. Hopefully. Fernie Sanders. Okay. I'm probably going to try and block off as much of the chat log as possible, just, you know, for privacy's sake. But that's another player character, so we're out in the world now. We're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video real quick and check in to see if anybody caught my message in the free company Discord. 2 seconds.